While I'm out here, I'm not sure how many of you would be interested in this, but thought I'd do a little bit of a story time. Um, I'm currently filming part of the review for the Cold Steel SRK, and I'm out here on some land that has been in my family for a long, long time. And, well, there's some pretty cool stories here, and I figured I'd just share some because why not? Who doesn't love stories, right? So the person that built most of this was my great grandfather. I think that's enough greats. His name was Roy Maupin. I know that's not my last name, but he was a character. So one thing he was known for was he had the most amazing garden. He could grow anything. He had tomatoes growing up here, and it's hard to grow tomatoes here. We're at about 10,500 feet, and long, hard winters, windy springs, short growing season, but he always grew the most amazing tomatoes. So he also had a little bit of a sense of humor. One time he was out here, and actually they have a creek that runs through here, Maupin Creek. And people used to come. They put this road in here back in the 30s during the Great Depression. And once this road got put in through his property, people started coming through a lot more. There's a place back here called Hopewell Lake. People go there. I think the lake was there at that time. I'm not sure. But anyways, people would come through here. There was a dude ranch a little ways off. And people would come and they'd stop, and his spring would flow under the road. It still does. And people would stop and they'd drink from this spring. And he would sit there and he'd laugh at them. And on one particular occasion, these two women from back east, they came and they were in their summer dresses and their bonnets, and they came and they were drinking out of spring, and they came and they told him, "Mister, this is the coldest, clearest, yummiest water we've ever had." And he said, "Yeah, I know it." They're like, "Where does this flow out of?" He says, "Well, one thing it flows out of," and he points, and upstream a little ways was his outhouse. He had the creek run through his outhouse as his sewage system. So, oh man. So yeah, they got their water up creek from the outhouse. They actually had a little bit of a dam built where they'd get their water, and they had a little bit of a well. So, yeah, he was a card. Another time, again, once this road got built in here, traffic started picking up a little bit. And by traffic start picking up, I mean, someone would come by once every 2 weeks. But still, more than they'd had. And this spot here, by the way, the nearest town is about 20 miles away through the mountains, so it's not easy to get to. And so, and that's 20 miles both directions. There's two towns that are kind of close. So one day a drifter comes through, and he's looking for a place to stay. And Roy's wife, Marge was her name, she took pity on this guy. She said, "Yeah, you can stay here with us." And so they let him stay there with them for a little bit. Well, one day Roy was off at work. There's a sawmill down the ways that he would work at, and he built it too. So he was off working, and while he was gone, this drifter started kind of trying to rough up his wife and his daughter. And they told him, get out. And he said, "Okay, whatever." So he starts walking down the road, and Roy comes back. He says, "I passed that drifter on the road. Did he decide to pull out?" And they told him, "Yeah, he was messing with us." And Roy said, "All right then." And he went, he grabbed his hat off the hook, put it on his head, he grabbed his rifle off from above the door, and away he went. And he didn't come back until the wee hours of the night. And when he came back, they said, "Where have you been?" He said, "Marge, that boy won't bother you no more." And he never spoke about it again. And people tried asking him, family members tried asking him for a long time what happened. He would never speak about it. But we all kind of know that he killed and buried that guy somewhere out here. So, another thing, he was very protective of his family, if that story didn't already illustrate that. And he had this horse that he loved. It was a wild horse that he'd caught and he'd tamed. And he loved this horse. And this horse would only let him ride it. So one day, his daughter was out feeding the horses, and this horse bit her. And he heard about it. He shook his head, and he grabbed his gun, and he took his horse, and they went off in the mountains. He came back a couple hours later without his horse. And again, something else he just didn't talk about. So, towards the end of his life, he actually served some time in the state penitentiary over Santa Fe way. And the reason, he used to have a huge, beautiful, 2-story cabin out that way. And its foundation is still there, but it's not there. And the reason? He burned it to the ground. And he was arrested for arson, even though he claims he didn't burn it down for arson. He just got tired of looking at it and wanted to build a new one, so he burned it down. But he served some time in prison for arson. And yeah, it always makes me laugh to come out here and, you know, or not make me laugh. It always feels good for me to come out here where I've got so much family history and just kind of enjoy it. There's a lot to enjoy. In fact, actually, over there's a little tombstone. The ashes of one of my great uncles is under it. You know? It's good to have a place where you've got family connections. But actually, that old cabin there, that was built as a school for the kids back in here because, again, getting to town was just about impossible. It really is a beautiful place. I said before, I'll tell people sometimes, you know, they'll ask me, where are you from? I'll say, I'm from New Mexico. And they think Georgia O'Keeffe and deserts and yellows and reds, big rocks and everything. And that stuff's all beautiful. And I do love that. And in fact, Abiquiu is just 50-ish miles to the southwest of where I'm at. But yeah, there's a lot more to New Mexico than just that. And it's pretty near and dear to my heart. I don't know why I decided to make this video. I just feeling like it. I look horrible. I've been out camping for a couple of days, so I'm all dirty and dusty and need a frickin' haircut. But maybe some of you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, that's it.